Well, the holidays can be a very stressful time for many people, but what are you doing to relieve some of that stress? Are you taking medication or are you looking for more of a holistic approach? Well, today I'm here with Emily with Garner's. I'm going to have the full name down here of the business, but they have so many supplements, so many natural products there that you can try out. And the best part is Emily is actually a registered nurse. So she is someone that knows the ins and outs and she knows what she's talking about. We're so excited to have you joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. We're going to start off talking about ashwagandha. I have heard so many people talking about this, and I'm like, I have no clue what it is. And there's probably someone out there watching this probably like, I don't know what this is either. But today you've actually brought that and some other supplements that may help folks with their stress. And you have brought this ashwagandha in multiple forms. And before we talk about those different forms, tell us what ashwagandha is and how it can help people with stress.
Okay, well, ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb. It has been around for 2,500 years. It's an Ayurvedic herb, and so in India they actually call it the scent of a horse, which sounds really weird.
Does it smell like a horse? Does it smell bad?
It does stink. It legit does smell bad. But when they say that, they're saying that it helps to give the person that's using it, gives them that vitality, that vigor that horses have, that like radiance. And so it helps to nourish the body like on a cellular level. So I think that's really cool to know that this is an herb that's really trendy right now, but it's been used for 2,500 years.
You say trendy, so you're basically saying it's been around for a while, but people are just now catching on to it. Okay, perfect. So you have 3 forms of ashwagandha. This big one that you said is actually mixed with another form of mushroom.
No, that's just ashwagandha.
So this one's straight up?
Yeah, that's just straight up. That is ashwagandha root, and it's cut up. So what they call that is cut and sifted. So they take the root, they dry it out, and then they cut it up. And what you would do with that is you would boil it down into water and you would make a tea with it. Or you could use that root, you could pulverize it technically into a powder and then you could consume it that way. Or you could also, if you were wanting to make your own medicine, you could make your own tincture with it. So the one on the right is an alcoholic tincture. That's an alcoholic extraction of the herb. The difference between tincture versus doing the actual herb itself is the alcohol brings out different constituents in the herb, so you're getting more fat-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble components of the herb. So you might be getting a different benefit from doing a tincture versus doing the powder or doing the actual herb itself.
Gotcha. And would you just take the drops like orally, or would you add it to something?
Yeah, so the way you want to use a tincture is it's usually 30 drops as a serving. So that would be like a full dropper full. Some people say put it straight into your mouth, but that's alcohol. That's gonna like
it's gonna burn.
It's gonna burn. It's gonna kind of mess up your mucous membranes in your mouth. So I usually tell people mix it with a little bit of water, shoot it back. It doesn't taste wonderful. It tastes like alcohol and herbs. So
I've learned a trend. If it tastes bad, that means it's really good.
Probably so,
for the most part. Okay, perfect. Now is this the one that you were saying that's mixed with?
No.
So none of them. I'm like, I'm all over the place.
The one that is mixed is this one.
Gotcha.
This is the mixed one. So this one is the one that has ashwagandha in it, but it also has medicinal mushrooms.
Perfect.
So it has reishi, lion's mane, turkey tail, and then it also has some other adaptogenic herbs that are good for stress.
Perfect. I was like, I know it's something, because I was learning a little bit about things before we got started. And then this is another capsule form of the ashwagandha. Now, is this what's basically in here, but kind of pulverized? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And how many of these would you recommend, and how often a day?
Usually it's going to be like 2 capsules, probably or 1 capsule twice a day. But the serving size might change between different brands, but usually it's like 1 twice a day. The nice thing about herbs is that herbs actually work really good on an empty stomach. And so you don't have to worry about like eating with them, that they're actually going to work better if they get into your system and you're able to absorb them well without food.
Sounds good, because I was actually going to ask, is it like medication where you have to eat it with food? So you could do this first thing in the morning.
You could, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that actually makes really good sense. So like adaptogenic herbs, the reason that they work and they call them adaptogenic is because they help to control cortisol.
Yeah.
Cortisol is your stress hormone, so it's supposed to spike in the morning, wake you up, get you going, and then it's supposed to fall throughout the day, and then in the evening be low, and then you go to sleep. But because of the world that we live in, being super stressed, having weird wake cycles and sleep cycles and blue light and and excitement everywhere, our cortisol gets all wonky. And then when your cortisol is wonky, then you're wired and tired, and you don't have a good sleep-wake cycle. So you could actually do it first thing in the morning to kind of help support that cortisol, and then in the afternoon to kind of get you ready for bed. Because it's an adaptogen, it's going to adapt to like what you need it to do. And so if you are someone who has more chronic fatigue type symptoms, you might feel more energy. So you might want to take it in the morning to help with energy, or maybe even like after lunch when you get that lunchtime lull, like at 3 o'clock and you're like, I'm tired. It would be a good time to take it then. Or some people actually, when they take it, they get more sleepy. So it I usually tell people, take it when you feel like you need it. If you need it to help with sleep, you might find that you take it, more closer to bedtime than you do for in the morning. So it's kind of an interesting herb.
Now, two things. I know when people are feeling stressed, any other medication may take a while for it to kick in. Is this something that you'll say kind of works fast, or how fast would you say they work?
Yeah, that's a hard question because everybody's body's different. For me, I tend to notice things pretty quickly. I tend to know kind of right off the bat, like, does my body like this? Is this good, or do I not like it? But then some people, it does take a little while to be on something for them to notice. And then also some people, it's like they take it and they don't really notice because maybe they feel better, so they take on doing more. And so they don't even really notice that they don't feel bad until they stop taking it, and then they like don't feel good. And then they're like, oh, actually that was really helping, but I just didn't notice. Because when you feel good, you do more. And and then you kind of like so
and I know normally when people are feeling stressed, their moods are obviously low, but you're more fatigued, and this does help with energy.
Yeah, so it can help with energy, and that's what's so weird because it's adaptogenic. They have it in energy formulas, they have it in sleep formulas, they have it in immune system support. Because of how it works with supporting your stress response, it also helps with immune system support. It also helps with inflammatory support. It helps with like your nervous system. It helps with your brain. It really does quite a lot. It can help with thyroid support. So it can do.
It sounds like
it's got a number of things it can do.
Now, for age, if you have children that you're wanting to kind of help them, like what range would you say this is best for?
I would honestly wait until older.
Till you pay bills, till you're really stressed.
I would wait until older. It's probably safe in teenagers. I don't love adaptogenic herbs in children that have these hormonal surges. So I would lean towards more of these things actually for stress. I would go, if it was a child, I would go magnesium. Magnesium all the way for stress. That's one of the big ones that I actually recommend for children, and you can take that 4 years old.
Our conversation about natural